So this is king versus king and pawn versus king and pawn, and in this case the pawns are about to get blocked, but they're not blocked yet. And so let's see what happens in this situation. The black king is actually very much active than the white king, and these two pawns are facing each other, but there is a move that white can play, and it is the only move, and it is f4. And the the reason this move draws for white cannot win in this position, obviously, because white can't take the pawn because it is a bit too far, whereas black can just go here and threaten the pawn. So this works because of now white shouldn't play this move directly, because if white goes here, then black has the opposition, and now white has to make a move, and then black can go the other way. If white goes here, black can go here, so outflanking basically. So here after black threatens to take the pawn, white has to make a reserving move, like the one I showed in the previous video, where you can reserve a move to save the pawn, but in this case you reserve a move to get opposition. So now when black takes, white takes, and white has opposition, and this is a draw. And I've shown this in the video where I've talked about king versus king plus pawn, and this is a draw because white can just follow black. If black pushes, white stays here, and if black pushes again, uh, white can go here. If black goes up, we can follow black, and if pushes, this is just stalemate. And so that's why this is a draw, and the move to play is f4, because now when black takes, we can reach this square, and these six squares are the key squares, and whichever uh, king gets there before the other king, that king is able to either draw or win the game. So this is not really the second situation, but this is an example of how white can get an opposition and draw the game. So let's see, but if this was black's turn, then it would be a win for black. But let's see how white would draw first. So white goes here, black goes here, white goes here, goes here. And now white has opposition, and this is a draw. As I showed earlier, that it's the same situation, like king goes here, goes here, goes here, and same thing. So that's the way to draw this game. And if it was black's turn, then black is a bit faster than white to get to this pawn, and then black would be able to get opposition, for example. And now white is not fast enough, and black got diagonal opposition. This is also an opposition kind of. So and whichever way white goes, black goes ahead. And so yeah, that's the way to win the game when it's black's turn. Yeah. So if it's black's turn first, then this would be a draw, because white would be able to get here by the time black takes this pawn. So if it's black goes here, goes here, goes here, takes this pawn, and kind of this is a draw because it's a rook pawn, and rook pawn is usually very easy to draw because it's usually stalemate. And there is no need for opposition even in this case, because it's a rook pawn, and rook pawns are all drawn. So there is no need for the situation where white had to reach this square. White had to just get behind the king and when wait, this was the situation. White had to just gain behind the black king when black has to take, and this is just a draw. And so that's why white, if it's white's turn, this is a win for white, because white gets to shoulder the king. So if this is the case, now white protects the pawn and also is able to capture the pawn, but black can't go here because the king was shouldering and not letting the king black king get here, and so this pawn is lost and white wins the game with opposition. So if white goes here, this is happens. This might also be a draw, but if you have the opposition, then it's a win. So now let's look at how to win this with white, and how to get opposition. So black king, okay, white goes here. Instead of this, after this, white is able to somehow get the pawn and get opposition and win the game. And so instead of king, we just use this to shoulder the pawn, to shoulder the king from getting close to that black pawn. The king goes here, play this, and now black goes here. If black goes here, then it's a bit easier for white to get to this pawn by going here, 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 not here directly. Here we reserve this move, and now we take it, and after this white just pushes and promotes, and so that's why this is a loss for white if white goes to here. And let's see what happens here. So after this black goes d3, we go up, goes here, and just takes and then promotes. So this is a way to win with white when it is on b2. King is on b2. White has to just get here and shoulder the black king from getting here. Now let's look at a situation where this is the case, where the king is all the way to h2 and not on b2. Now in this situation, black is able to draw the game, but it has only one way to draw the game, despite being so far away from the pawn. So let's see if white goes here, or just does this, even tries to shoulder. So this time don't play this, because if you go here, white can do this, and this is actually both of them lead to stalemate. Even if you go here, or even if you go here, this is also stalemate, because white really doesn't have any move other than moving the king, and just moving the pawn just leads to stalemate. And that is the only reason why king on h2 is a draw, and when this is the situation, this is a draw, only because of that stalemate kind of scenario. And yeah, that's all for this, and thanks for watching.